Hey everybody, how are you guys doing? I hope well. We so on the calendar today we're going to be talking about different chart types. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but we're always assigned a topic to talk about, and really what they try to do is they try to kind of like cycle through some popular subjects. So sometimes, sometimes. Um, we seem to like, I don't know, go down a weird road or down a weird track. And so anyway, this if you're wondering when we're in here and you're going, what the heck? I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this subject. Really, it's because just that's the subject that it is that's happening there at the time, um, and that we're supposed to go over. So although I would like to go over different things, and sometimes I will. For the most part, I try to stick to the topic at hand so that the people that showed up for that topic can learn about it, and that's about it. So we'll kind of we'll kind of dive into this and start going. So we're going to be talking about different chart types. Okay, different chart types. What are I have some of. Let me lay this out for you here. Let me share this really quickly. Okay, here are some trades that I have taken. This is on the euro dollar. This is over just the last like couple of days, well, a little more than a couple of days, but here's some trades that I've taken on this chart for various reasons. Now, um, one of the things that hopefully that you guys see is that as far as trading perfectly, do you have to trade perfectly? Heck no. Heck no. In a perfect world, I'm not getting out of this trade right here until, right up here, right? And I'm not getting out of this trade until right here or right here, for that matter, because this thing is going to keep going. We're going to retest this like support load, whatever. So you can kind of go through and tell yourself all sorts of things, or when you look back on trades, but when you're in them, um, it's a different story. You're kind of, making the best um, judgment for the information that you have at the time. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be a perfect trader or have to be a perfect trader. You can get in this little section right here and, make a bunch of little like, oh, no, we're not, da, 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 I don't know what we're doing right here. Um, and you know, even when I look at this, I think to myself, yeah, why the heck did I get out of here? Well, I was looking to buy based on this move right here, but it hadn't quite bottomed out yet. So I got into a few different things right here before it kind of went. Um, that's neither here nor there. My point of showing you this is that is that you don't have to be perfect in every single move. I mean, if I was perfect in every single move, I'd be like, boom, when I got out of this cell right here at the bottom, which this one was actually quite perfect, right? I mean, you're going to have those times when it's like perfect, where you go from this point right here to this point right here. So from my entry to my exit, that trade was perfectly executed very, very nicely. But for the most part, you're not, I mean, it's kind of a fantasy to think that every trade is going to be like that. Are these still a lot of good trades? Yeah, there's still a lot of good trades. This one, when I look at it, I go, oh, dang it, why didn't I get out sooner? Why did I let this one come back on me quite so far on this candle? And I can't remember what I was thinking there at the time, but obviously I was trying to like let it come back up so I could let it go back down. And anyway, um, so here's what we're going to do. And based on this, so this is a candle. This is a candle chart. Okay, so a candle chart um, is going to be different than a line chart, than a bar chart, than a Renko chart, and different than all sorts of other different kinds of charts. So we're going to start looking at the different kinds of charts and how that would affect what we're seeing right here in the trades. And hopefully we can kind of overlay some of those different things on top of here, and then we can kind of see like, okay, maybe we can see things in a little bit of a different way. Um, does anybody trade anything different than, does anybody trade anything different than candles or bars? My gosh, this did it again. Hang on just a second. I apologize. Hold on. Renko. Okay, cool. We'll talk about Renko too. Hang on just a second. This thing is doing something with Adobe that it doesn't like. Hang on just a sec. Okay, and we're back. And we're back. Okay, so now it kicks all of my charts off of there. That's all right. We'll see if we can kind of look at those again. Most of the time, you're gonna miss like most of the opportunities on the chart. Why do you think that that is? Why do you think that you miss most of the opportunities on the chart? Okay, so lagging indicators, timing, noise, time frame, greed. Yeah, I mean, when we look at this, we go, okay, we've got, there's tons of opportunity all over, the place, but we only catch like a fraction of it. So some of the things I know for me can be just, actual focus. So, I'm trading like a number of different pairs. I'm looking at a bunch of different things. So, I'm only one person, and I'm trying to trade on some other currency pairs as well, and some other things. So yeah, one of the things can be focus, definitely, is that we just kind of lose focus and we end up missing like a bunch of trades. That can definitely be something that happens. So you don't need to catch, by no stretch of the imagination do you need to catch all of this stuff. You're going to catch like a handful of it. There's like billions of dollars being traded per day or exchanged in the foreign currency market. So, all you need to do is just catch your little fraction, whatever that happens to be, and then you're good. And that's what I try to do. So as far as missing trades, yeah, there's going to be a lot of trades that you just miss, either because you don't see them, or yeah, your timing, or whatever the case may be. But a lot of them also that in my case, is that I trade to a pip target a day, and then once I'm there, then I'm done for the day. And that's the way that I keep myself in check as far as not over trading, not getting kind of that market intoxication where you're just like keep going and going and going, and you've got 100 pips, and then the next thing you know, you've got you don't have 100 pips anymore because you keep trying to force things to happen, or you keep trying to trade through markets that aren't really working. So anyway, there's a lot of different things that you can do, but that's one of my rules. Okay, so let's look at different kinds of charts. Let's take a look at this. So right here, this is these are candles. Where's the origin of candles? Where do they come from? Okay, so a lot of trading things are from the Japanese. They come up with a lot of cool stuff. We've got kind of I knew someone that lived in Japan for a long time, and they said everybody has like kind of not everybody, but like just there's a very engineering type of a mindset that is just kind of a cultural phenomenon, that just a lot of people have just an engineered type of a brain, just genetically, that's the way that they come. And so when you think about a lot of the ways that and things that are going on in trading, and a lot of the innovation and progress that has come out of Japan, as far as they've got a lot of different things that they got going on there, but they've contributed a lot of different things to trading. I mean, as well as like I can't really think of like a ton of indicators per se that come out of Japan, I mean, you can say, well, Ichimoku, that's an indicator. Yeah, you definitely could say that. But I mean, mostly it seems like to be centrally focused on candles and kind of, but anyway, so one of the things is that they've contributed, and I don't know who came up with this, but yeah, they're called Japanese candles. Okay, and so there's a lot of different ways that we can interpret what is going on here. Um, what what are we seeing right here? Or generally, um, when we see something like this, and I'll just kind of throw out just a few little things that you might easily be recognizable as far as candles are concerned. I don't know. We can throw in all sorts of little stuff. Okay, stuff like that. Okay. Okay, wicks. So we get a bunch of wicks in here. And what do there let me just be clear here. There is no certainty as far as what they mean other than there is a loss of momentum. There is a probability, however, there is a probability that they can mean that there's a change of direction. Okay, and we can point that out in a bunch of different places right here on the chart where, hey, when we see a long wick right here, and then there's a change of direction down for a time, and then it turns out, whoa, we kind of get back down to this low, and then this kind of retracts back up, and then we get a change of direction there, and we get some wicks, and we can kind of follow that all along here. So it really makes it, there's some identifiable characteristics as far as candle patterns and the wicks are concerned that can really help us in our trading. So when you see stuff like this, you might say to yourself, well, okay, all right, look over here to the left. Let's see, we hit some support. And a lot of times that is exactly what it will be, is that you're hitting like a support or resistance level, and it kind of will just drop down and retest that, and then it kind of retracts back up, and then so if you can find things that are associated with support and resistance levels anyway, then you've got a higher probability of seeing something reversing or heading back the other way. So the only thing that candles really do, especially for me, when I see something like that, is they just make me pay attention. It just kind of it's a really easily identifiable feature that makes me go, huh? What's going on here? So right here, and I only kind of brought that up because we're starting to see that. And so what I was saying earlier, here is that it can be an identifiable feature when we're seeing like a reversal. So as it comes down right here, we've got some support at this level right here. It looks like we're getting some kind of rejection at this level. So, I may not encouraging anything, but I am saying that, hey, we might be seeing some type of a reversal right here, possibly. Then again, we do see a similar pattern right here, and it actually broke through into this next support level right here. So it's not a categorical certainty by any stretch of the imagination. You're not going to see it, categorically being anything other than just it should make you pay attention and like, oh, hey, I want to see if I can, see something there, if there is something there to be seen, because there's all of this opportunity. There's all of this opportunity that we can jump on possibly. And I'm just kind of drawing up some little things where we see wicks and where we might possibly see a change of direction here. Okay, so kind of like a connect the dots type of a thing, almost making like a line chart. Okay. All right, so as I throw those out there, let me get rid of all of those, and what we will do, let's change over to a bar chart. So if we want to change what type of a chart that we're seeing right here, we can go into template settings. Okay, right here, and it'll say price style right here, and we've got all of these different types of styles in here. Okay, some are going to be more popular than others. Somebody already mentioned Renko, so we'll definitely look at that. We've got bar, high, low, close. These are bars. We'll definitely look at those. And we've got some candle volume. I think somebody mentioned that. Hinkanashi. That's also another Japanese, obviously. Looks Japanese, and it is. Um, and Renko is actually Japanese as well. And so we'll start to look at some of those things. And we'll first of all, we'll look at a bar chart. Okay. So the bar chart, when we look at it, it looks looks a little different. Where we would see wicks or normal wicks on a candle chart, we don't see that. We don't see necessarily wicks. So to me, it's a little bit it's a very minimalistic. You don't get as much information as maybe you would like, but you do also see some other cool things that are different. Now, the way that bars work is, I mean, basically you're going to get an open of the bar, and then down here you're going to get the close, and so whatever is left over, that would be the wick. So where it closes, you get this little, where it kind of kicks out there. You guys probably can't see that very well because it is kind of, they're very small, or they're kind of skinny. So I'll bring that in just a little bit. So right here, I know on this bar right here, we saw like a big, huge, long wick. Big, huge, long wick that came down and then kind of came back up. So what this is saying right here is that, hey, we opened the trade right here. Okay, we end up kind of doing a bunch of different things, but here's how this went. So we open right here, this goes down, travels down all the way. This ends in a wick right here, but it also ends closing high above here, and so you're going to see like an entire basically wick, and that's what that looks like. But it doesn't look as obvious when you see it in a bar chart. Just doesn't. Some people really like to trade with bars. I did it for a long time. And there's, interestingly enough, I can see certain formations better with bars than I can with candles. Certain types of formations you can see better, and is just kind of one of those things. But unfortunately, you can't have it all. I do prefer candles because I do think that there's more information in there. But certain configurations will stand out like a sore thumb to me. So anyway, we'll just kind of move on from there. Okay, so that was a brief little description. Who likes this when they look at it? Is this appealing to anyone, or does this kind of make you go, yeah, I want to start trading with bars, or does that, are you like, nah? Yeah. It doesn't show, there's a lot of things that it doesn't show. One of the things that definitely is illustrated better, like I said, are the wicks, those change of direction, and you can see kind of, there's obviously you can see when you get kind of bigger candles with more volume in them, they're a little bit easier to read in that. So we'll just kind of, we'll change a couple of things here. So that was bars. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, let's go candle volume. Okay, whoa, that looks crazy, right? That looks kind of crazy. So these are definitely, as far as candle volume, this particular type of a chart, I've never traded with this. Somebody, I don't know who actually came up with this, but you're just, the the whole gist of it is that there's going to be shading, okay, according to where the trade begins and where the trade ends, and then it gets lighter. So we go from darker points to lighter points as that trade progresses away from you and has more volume. And so you can kind of see the different types of shading, hopefully. So we go from like a kind of a darker army green to like a lighter green, and every trade starts kind of with that. And so the more volume that you get in the candle, it actually gets lighter as it pushes away, or there becomes more volume in there. And so you can kind of, as far as identifying, like, oh, hey, we're getting a significant amount of volume in there, that might be helpful to your eye, as a, kind of a helpful trigger. Some people are, just different things, different folks. There you go. Okay, so that is candle and volume. Okay. Okay, Henkanashi. This is going to actually looks significantly different, quite a bit. You'd almost have to overlay both of them on top of each other, even though they're candles. This works more on an average, so it's going to smooth some of the down bars. Okay, so if you're in an uptrend, it will take out some of those down bars, and it will still be like, hey, as far as an average is concerned, we're still in an up move, and you still want to kind of stick with that. Anyway, that is how that works, is that it kind of averages out price, and kind of projects it forward based on, where it closes, how it closes, et cetera, and based on the previous candle. So you're getting more of an average price, and it doesn't change. So for people that have a difficult time, almost like they start, instead of trading moves, they start trading like singular candles, and they kind of get, mixed up very easily with doing that. This might be something to look at, where it will help keep you in the overall trend longer. So you might take a look at that and see if it's something that interests you. It can be kind of cool. It can help you to, it doesn't trick your brain quite as much with all of the, changing of the colors and things like that, because that's one of the things when that really kind of throws people for a loop, is when they start seeing, different color changes and things like that. They're like, and that's what, gets them out of stuff. Okay. Another thing that it does this, kind of show you right here. So right here, as far as this candle pattern is concerned, right here, actually, this candle, I know when we look at a regular candle pattern, this one is boom, straight down, and this one is straight back up. And as far as this is concerned, it gives you some different information, where this candle right here actually ends up looking like it's got a wick on it. This one is kind of a doji, and then we start kind of going from that position right there. So yeah, if you're somebody that really kind of, gets freaked out by all of the, changes in colors and things like that, this might be very helpful for you to stay in those trades a little bit longer. So look into that. Conversely, well, I guess not conversely, but additionally, I guess I would say, that's where kind of Renko comes from as well. We gotta change this. Okay, where Renko comes in, and Renko is a style of trading that you're looking for overall changes of direction. So now all of this stuff that we had in here, which we did have like a ton of stuff. I mean, it didn't, this makes it look, I mean, it's just really to almost kind of trick your brain, if you will. It takes out the highs and the lows, and it gives you kind of more of the average move. Okay, so in an average move, it's going to say, hey, we're looking like we're heading this direction, or we're looking like we're going this direction overall. Whereas price is trading down here, your Renko brick up here is still we're still kind of a long way away, or a fair amount from that Renko brick right there. And one of the things is it does, definitely matters, the brick pattern that you have in there, but I think we just have in one. So these, it kind of definitely smooths things out, and it makes you kind of go, okay, yeah, I'm going to stay in this trade, or I'm not going to stay in this trade. It's a double-edged sword, in my opinion, in this way. So it can be really good. It can be really good. You do have to have a really big stop loss to trade with Renko. One of the ways, or basically this is kind of what you're looking for in Renko charts, is that you're looking for changes of direction, or transitions to that point. So right here, these bricks are going down. This is telling you, hey, we are in a downtrend, da, 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 da. And where you would want to look to enter the trade is when you get a new brick that changes that direction. So now we would be looking to go up, okay? Doesn't do much for, if you get these smaller moves, you're definitely going to have to work this a bit, because we would get into a sell, and then we're going to be getting back into a buy pretty quick. This one has 3 bricks down, this one has 2, but then you're looking for these longer moves. So the point of Renko, and it's actually a really good point, is that, yeah, you're going to lose some of these smaller battles, but you're going to win the war, which is, get on the right side of that trend, which we saw, earlier before, which I was kind of showing you, hey, I took a trade that was something like this, that came in right here, and I got out somewhere like right in here, whereas this thing was like, I could have taken it possibly down to like more near the bottom of that Renko chart. And so it's just kind of some interesting information, and it kind of gives it to you in a different way. Now, one of the things that I was saying is that, yeah, you have to have a pretty decent stop loss in this, but you are trading off of, some pivots. So, it's not actually kind of as bad as you think. And it's just kind of, hey, an overall move right here is going to produce, like, overall on the average. Whereas if you're getting in and out and all over the place as this kind of works its way up, this does a nice job of kind of giving you an overall direction, and you're not getting in and out of trades as much, and it can be very, very helpful. Okay. Yeah, I can't put it into approximate numbers as far as what kind of stop loss that you would need on there, because I don't know what size of chart that you're trading. So it really is relative to the type of a chart that you're trading. So if you're trading off of the 1 minute, obviously that's going to be different than if you're trading off of the 5 or the 15 or the 30 or the, you know what I mean? So that's what I would say to that. One of the things, like I said, it does not show highs and lows of the market, So right here, where at this point right here, where you could get into this trade as that brick changes color and starts to go that way, that would be a sell for you. But does that mean that, in actuality, you might have a 12 pip bar, come up and whack you out of this trade, and you just don't see it right here? Absolutely. And that's the downside. Okay, so if you narrow it down and you say, hey, 15-minute chart, I'm going to tell you like 10 to 15 pips. And it depends. The deeper that you get in on the trade, so I'm saying 10 to 15 pips from the pivot, but the deeper that you get in, the bigger the stop loss you're going to have. So let's just be clear on that. So some people will go, oh, hey, yeah, this thing is like only got like 3 bricks in it, but you're likely already buying 10 to 15, pips in, and to get outside of that point, you're in there kind of deep. So just kind of be aware of that if I'm saying 10 to 15 pips, it's from the pivot, from this pivot point, 10 to 15 pips. All right, so that's Renko. Has some really good things, especially if you're a really nervous trader. Okay, if you're a really nervous trader, this can be a really, really good thing for you. You'll stay in trades longer, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, there's a lot of good points to it. but by no stretch of the imagination is it perfect. So just keep that in mind as well. Another point that I will mention is that people do just, I know this for a fact, but people do have a more of an inclination to have a set it and forget it mentality with this type of a chart. So meaning like right here where they get this brick in here, we are going long, fellas. Like, and this is an automatic, buy. And so we get into the buy right here, and then this turns out to just kind of be like a consolidation point, and then it goes against you like another, good amount of pips right there. So is the, same thing right here, so your eyes can give you that confirmation bias. You might get into a sell right here, and then this changes direction right here, and same thing here. So you really do, being a trader means, hey, I'm going to trade them as they come in, but I'm probably going to have to continually trade some stuff and move some things around as this trade develops. Okay, this works off of support and resistance as well. I will mention that to you. So you're going to get resistance level up here, you're going to get support level down here, and so you're going to be looking at all of those different things. This isn't really a class on, hey, let me teach you a strategy on how to trade Renko. You'll have to go out and research that and figure that out for yourself. But as a general rule, what you're looking for is the transition of price and change of direction on that brick. Okay, and that's really usually typically what Renko traders are looking for. It's good. It's a cool, it's a cool little thing meant to keep you in trades longer and meant to help your overall psyche in trades and to not, have you hit the panic button so much. Okay, so this, so this right here is the 15-minute. It's going to look the same. It's all just kind of Renko bricks on a chart. This is the 1 minute. Okay, so on the 1 minute, you're going to be looking at something like this. Are you going to have, and once again, most people are prone to that confirmation bias when they're like, I only see this, but you're going to get fake outs just like with candles or anything else. You really will get those fake outs, and I mean, are they fake outs, or is this, this is just the way the market works. It just kind of does this. So you just have to kind of trade, your way through some of these little things that you're seeing right there. Anyway, this is the 1 minute. This is the 5 minute. That's the 5 minute, and then we'll go do something crazy. And okay, well, so when we go, so we went out too far. So this is on the 4 hour, and it's just, as far as Renko is concerned, there's a little bit too many in there. So we need to scale it back here. This is the 1 hour. There is the 1 hour, and we will kind of see that. We do know that even, this is the 1 hour chart. There's been a bunch of down moves today, so that's one thing that I want to point out. So it doesn't show the highs and lows, but more like that median average and kind of overall direction if it kind of comes back. So that's why I say, as far as stop loss is concerned, that stop loss, you can't lock in as much as what you normally would, because you've got all of this area right here with, like that big huge candle that was coming down on the chart right there. It came all the way down. It doesn't represent that here. That's going to be not even a blip on the radar. So that's just something that you have to be aware of. Okay, and that, hopefully you guys can kind of see that right here, Renko is still pointing down, and still pointing down. We see price below here, trading a little bit far ways away from it. And then if we went back to the candle chart, it's still, overall, it's still, in that down bar. And look at that. When we see this right here, we go, okay, dang, that we had a wick right there. We had a little stopping point. we're back down here as far as where this support level is, and which direction is it going. I don't know. The 1 hour chart says that we're moving up overall, but once again, it set it in a pretty big way, and you got all of this little area where you're pulling back, but now it's coming back, basically back up to that high. And now we've had enough momentum down that you're starting to get, you've got Renko bars heading down. So kind of depends on what chart that you're trading. And I've never really traded Renko before, but I know how it works. I'm just kind of throwing some ideas your way just in case it looks interesting. Okay, we can go. Same thing with the line chart. Okay, same concept, at least with a line chart. So a line chart is what you're seeing, as a general rule when you look at stock market or just the overall Dow. I mean, it'll show it kind of like this, and basically how this works is that you're getting plot points. All these plot points are represented by these little angular moves. So, let me see if I can bring those up a little bit. Nope. Okay, so right here, basically you're getting a plot point down, and then as that candle, moves up and decides it finally wants to turn, you would get a plot point there. And basically a line chart is going to draw from this point right there to that point right there, and then it draws over, and then it goes down, and so all of these have a plot point associated with them, and that's how you make up a line chart. Is that it will generate a plot point based on a change, or enough of a change of direction that you're starting to see something head the other way. Once again, I've never traded in this way. It does take out the highs and lows also. So you might get a huge wick candle and it doesn't show it. It's just going to show more kind of like to that price or that median price, and so that can be an advantage or a disadvantage depending on what you're looking at. I wouldn't say that this is a very popular way to trade, but I'm sure that there's plenty of people out there that do it. And I think, once again, I think that all of these derivatives of trading, when you look at this, it probably doesn't look as intimidating as something else. And the only reason that I say that is that, you're looking at a line. It doesn't, it's not like changing color. It's not like, bouncing around like a ton, except for, you're seeing price over here moving around and kind of jumping around. So you might, I don't know, it might help you trade better. It might help you trade worse in some situations. It might have you hang on to your losers a little bit longer, but it also may have you hang on to your winners a bit longer as well. Like I said, I think all of it is probably based around the premise of, just, well, this is kind of basic mathematics as far as, line charts and plot points and things like that, but possibly also to just from a psychological standpoint of what you're seeing, so that you don't, freak out so much in the trades. Okay, so that could definitely be something as well. We can look at this and see what it looks like on the 1 minute. So on the 1 minute chart, this is what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, you're getting like the same things. I mean, you're going to be going, okay, this is support right here. Here's resistance right here. You're going to be looking at all of those same things. It just kind of does it in a little bit of a different way, but it's all same thing. You're going to be looking at support and resistance points along line charts, and just that's how that goes. I don't personally love it, but hey, it is what it is, and I'm sure that there's people out there that are experts at trading line charts and that are really, really good at it. Just whatever it is that you do, I kind of will always say, you can be a jack of all trades and a master of none, or you can be just kind of stick with something and learn all of the nuances and intricacies of that something, whatever that is. That tends to be the best formula for success, is just stick with it, um, become the master of that thing, and you'll tend to have a lot more success. So for me, I definitely spend a lot of time with candles and looking at them. I don't know that there's ever specifically a way to master them per se. But just overall, when I look at different things, this is just kind of more pleasing to my eye. And maybe it's just because we are, kind of drawn to what we know. Um, I don't know. Either way, but this to me is just a little bit more. It's a little bit more pleasing. It just to me it means more to me when I see these structures than if I were to see something else. Okay. Okay, so most of these others on here, honestly, would be somewhat new to me, except bar high, low close, 3-line break. I don't even think it looks like it's similar to Renko because you get this thing that you can calculate right here. We can click OK. This is also looks like it's going to be somewhat similar to that volume candle as well. We're getting some different information there. So this is 3-bar, was it 3-bar break, 3-bar line break? Never used it before. Three-line break. Definitely somewhat similar. I'd have to research this and figure out what they're trying to accomplish here and why they're trying to do it. I mean, it looks like it's definitely an offshoot of that volume configuration, and probably also a hybrid of Renko as well. And most indicators are that way, where usually, somebody's using something and they're like, okay, I like these aspects of it, but I think I can make it better. Here's how. And, they come up with their own calculation and whatnot for, how to do this. One of the things that you'll notice here is that, you don't see wicks. There's not any wicks, so that's why I say, there's some Renko in here as well. So it kind of averages out price. And we see that a little bit more. And then we don't see as many of the highs and the lows. Like right here, I know that there was that big long wick right there. We don't see that. It just kind of comes back to that median level. So yeah, there's some Renko in here. There's also some of that volume because of the ways that the color changes. But it almost looks like in this, whereas that bar volume, it started out darker and went lighter. This actually does the inverse of that. So it starts lighter and goes darker as the candle progresses, or as there's more volume into the candle, or possibly, I don't know, there could be a timing feature to it as well. So as far as, hey, this is a 15-minute chart and you're going, and it kind of separates that, like, this is the halfway point, and this is, so you're in the second part of the bar. To me, that's what it looks like as well, because no matter how big or how much the volume is on these candles, as the trade opens, it's light. As the trade closes, it's dark, and it doesn't seem to have any correlate with volume, because you see it even on the small candles and the big candles alike. So it must be a time feature, so that instead of going, hey, there's no next bar tool, this is probably developed before there's the next bar tool, and somebody was like, hey, let's just make a next bar tool. Somebody was like, hey, I want to know if I'm deep into this candle here without, having to calculate that. That could be it. So, don't know. I'd have to really kind of look into that. But anyway, that's what I'm kind of seeing right there. And then this looks Japanese as well. This is also an offshoot of a bar chart. So not candlesticks, but it's kind of a hybrid of bars, and you can kind of see the configurations of how that is looking. So you get open, low, close, high, and then this, then you're going to get these back and forth configurations. This kind of shows more of a consolidation. And probably to a lot of people's eye, this looks like, yeah, this makes sense to me. I'm looking for, breakouts and points like that. Once again, this doesn't show highs and lows per se, because there's no wicks on here or anything like that. It looks all smooth. And so you could definitely go, oh, I'm going to put in a buy stop right here and a sell stop right here, and you may get triggered in on this type of a trade, and you just don't, so you just have to be careful about some of the things. They can look really good to your eye, but this probably, once again, no wick right here, and we know that the price traveled all the way down here and then recoiled back up, and so everything has pluses and minuses to it, but just whatever makes the most sense to you. If you can trade like gangbusters off of this information, more power to you, and please do so. But overall, I think if you learned it, yeah, I mean, if you learned it, it's actually probably pretty cool. I just have never taken the time to learn off of this. Okay. On this, color variation is just like candlesticks. So when you're getting upward, when you're getting a bullish candle, it's going to be yellow. When you're getting a bearish candle, it's going to be blue. So all of these are just bullish and bearish signals, just like candles. They're just kind of more in a bar hybrid shape of, it's definitely there's a connectivity to them, and depending on how that bar kind of closes, if it closes high, you're going to get that. I'm sure that there's a lot of really significant and cool patterns if you're trading in here that your eye gets trained to, to looking at some of these patterns. Whereas, when I'm looking at them, I'm like, okay, where do I find the cheese here? It's like a maze, and I'm okay. Anyway, so yeah, but whatever it is that you like, it kind of seems like we're probably we'll just go back to candles and that's it. But you can definitely, if anything looks interesting to you, start exploring some of those other things. Renko is popular. It is popular, and it is cool. So anyway, look at that. Exactly. Who moved my cheese? Good book. All right. So thank you guys, and we will see you guys next time. Okay.